For weeks, we've been wondering just what it was that a private investigator named Steve Fisher found inside David's home when he was given access last October. The PI reported seeing, quote, items you would expect to find on a farm rather than in a home in the Hollywood Hills. And today, we are learning about one of those items.
So it seems like David would regularly contact underage girls on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, presumably trying to groom them just like he did with Celeste. And the worst part is he tried to silence these people who tried to expose him, getting his label to take the stuff down and even trying to sue people. It's really dark and messed up. It really seems like David is a sicko. I mean, we kind of already knew that from the stuff he did to Celeste, which is absolutely just disgusting, but it just continues to get worse as more information is revealed. Let's just get into it. So firstly, let's talk about this guy called Engsley.
Do you know who that person is, and do you believe that is the person that moved the Tesla?
So I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour. I can't say who the person, and I don't mean I can't say for, but I don't know who exactly was in that house because it's just a report, but there's video, but you can't make a person out. But somebody was in the house, and being that there's only one key, it's like, okay, who had access at that time? So is it the same person that moved the Tesla? Was another last part of the plan about to go in motion as far as getting rid of her? I don't know.
Who knows? David has dropped music with him, but also has apparently been trying to expose him since 2023. So I'm gonna go through all this guy's tweets, and he also posted a video where he explains that he's been trying to expose David for messaging multiple underage girls, but stopped as his label and stuff were threatening to sue him and made him take it down. So firstly, on the 17th of September in 2025, which was on the day the identity of the girl was released, I think. So here is messages with James Buttigun with this Engsley guy. He only adds underage girls, I know, right? I'm not joking either.
For quite some time, a lot of people were curious as to when she could have passed away. If she passed away at the beginning of 2025, why did she only just start smelling in September of 2025? Well, according to what we are hearing from sources close to LAPD, it seems as if Celeste Rivas Hernandez was actually frozen for a period of time. Freezing up would preserve that for an extended period of time, and it seems as if she was removed from being in a frozen state and put in David's Tesla. And because of that, the medical examiner is likely not going to be able to determine a CO.
It's another guy called Kanji. David only talks to a woman from the server. Oh, bro, Simba, ha, yes, for real, wow. They're also usually 15 to 16 too. Now, this was posted in 2023 when David was around 17, 18. So 15, 16, it's a bit of a gap, but you know, definitely not the same level as being 20 and talking to a 13, 14-year-old. What the F, David is a pedo. So again, that's multiple people from his Discord or people that knew him that know he's talking to kids. Engsley then posted this. I screenshotted this story David posted in 2023. I found it ironic AF. Of course, they have to have kids, David. You like that, don't you? With a picture of David posting on his story, now that I'm 18, I'm gonna need all the single mothers of 3 to hit my DM ASAP. You have to have 3 kids. Now I think this is just them taking a joke from David a bit too far. Like, he's just here saying he wants to date MILFs. Well, he clearly doesn't, because he was of course talking to kids all the time. But I guess it's funny how he said you have to have 3 kids, whilst he's clearly interested in kids. To be fair, this guy in the comments does have a good point. Pedos do tend to target women with kids. That is actually a very good point. Like, I think there's a stat about it, but yeah, a lot of the time that people that do stuff to kids are actually family members.
Hey guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minute, but I just had some words to share with you for 2025. Despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the pain and things like that, this year I just wanted to tell you guys not to be discouraged and not to lose hope and not to turn your face from God in these times of evil. And it seems like just at the start of the year, it's literally January and all this stuff is happening. It's like the most insane, it's February now, but it's the most insane start to a year that I've ever seen. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So keep that sound mind, 2025. Stay prayed up.
So then he starts posting screenshots with Celeste, which I'm not even going to go through these because we all know that David, of course, groomed Celeste. In this video, I want to talk about the other victims of David. So funnily enough, someone will try to actually kind of confront him, because in this tweet he said he has no idea of what he was doing. So let me read you Ngazlizi's tweet, which he deleted. As you guys know, I used to be friends with David. We did songs together, were often associated with each other, etc. I just want to say from this day on, I will no longer associate myself with him, and I have no idea of the disgusting things he was doing.
No, out of all times for this to happen, as he's discovered in his car, after she's been identified, for there to be a potential swatting incident where somebody calls 911 with a fake allegation, a fake crime for their property, out of all people, out of all times, it's weird.
Well, it's weird, but it doesn't necessarily surprise me, because this case has taken on national significance in terms of people paying attention to it. And there are bad actors that understand how to bring somebody by way of swatting. So somebody called the 911 system down there. They found the address online and were basically made up a story for the cops to go there. And then they went in, and fortunately the police were very professional, and they were able to immediately understand that it was a swatting incident and it wasn't a legitimate call.
So he starts posting more stuff with Celeste, then shows another example of David trying to sue someone for posting a picture of him and Celeste. Now this is another screenshot from 2023 where it was mentioned that David was speaking to other minors. Now again, in 2023, David was around 17 and 18, so minors, you know, if they're 16, 17 and he's around that same age, it's not the end of the world. But let me actually see this picture. Nah bro, now you're only adding females, facts, they're all kids too.
Do you have any indication about where David is right now?
I don't. I have no idea. And it's kind of bizarre because his group has stayed so silent, what's left of his group, I guess. And I'm not even sure the conversations that the owner did have with his management in breaking that lease. I'm not even 100% sure his management knows at this time where he's at. I think his attorney might be the only one, and his parents.
Pedo David, he talks to blurred out all the time.
Transferring these assets in the middle of an investigation, as opposed to 2 years ago or a year ago.
Right.
Could a court look at this and say, this was a deliberate attempt to, what you say, concealing assets, and they could breach it, they could pierce it, they could say, even though that you've transferred this into your mother's name, that was invalid. This is a way for, let's say, a plaintiff who sues him, or let's say in a criminal judgment to pay that fine. Can a court look at that and say, even though you transferred it, it's still open season on those properties?
Yeah, this is what's so puzzling about this. It is a very basic premise of law throughout the country that you can't transfer assets after the event happens that would otherwise trigger collecting on those assets. So we have rules in different states. Sometimes they're called fraudulent transfers, sometimes they're called fraudulent conveyances. There's a lot of different names for them. But the crux of it is you cannot transfer assets
all the time, and she's 15. So if he was 17, 18, yeah, you probably shouldn't be talking to 15-year-olds. That's kind of weird, bro. So look, it's coming from multiple sources. Now, if they're legit sources, it's questionable, but multiple people that were in his...
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, so the plan is hopefully this music thing takes off crazy next year.
Why is he saying, why are you saying that like you're not like up there?
Well, I'm not there yet, but hopefully it's like even crazier next year. And then I go on crazy year after year for the next 3 years. And then on the 4th year, I retire. And on the 5th year, I'm off the grid, living somewhere like on an island with this crazy crib. No social media, no digital footprint. I'm just gone. I'm just gone. In 5 years, I'm gonna be gone.
Will you still remember me?
Yeah, bro. You'll have like the secret codes to the mansion.
Yeah?
You can pull up on every
What's the secret code? Give us the first 2 numbers.
Absolutely
of the
not.
Or in his Discord saying he messages kids. Now, it's kind of hard because these people, of course, aren't legitimate sources. So when this first came out in 2023, what can you really do? However, now with all the Celeste stuff coming out, it's kind of obvious that all those previous exposés...
Basically, an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving is that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. Like, it was in the vault.
Yeah, I don't understand why people are trying to blame this sleazy guy. Look, the best evidence he had was messages from random people on Discord. Like, you can't really do much with that. Even if you report it to the police, nothing will happen. Even if you post it on Twitter saying David is messaging kids, it's just not even going to be taken seriously because there's no solid evidence. And it's kind of a shame because you can't really do anything until something serious like this happens. And then you can be like, oh wait, he was actually doing that. But to me, what the craziest part about the situation is that people clearly knew. His label, his legal team made this guy take the posts down. So people in his camp knew this guy was messaging kids, or David, sorry. So Engsley here tried to expose him, but his legal team or his label or just people in his camp, people close to him, made him take it down. So it's clear they knew of these allegations and they didn't try to investigate them, forward them to his label, or ask David to stop doing this, or ask him what is he doing, is this true? No, they just told him to take it down. So people knew, and that's the worst part. These people are now, I would say, responsible for Celeste's death. Because if you know David was messaging kids and you didn't do anything apart from try, mute, muffle, take down the allegations, then these people are responsible. Because if they took the claim seriously and David was like, damn, I'm actually being exposed for talking to kids, I need to stop talking to kids.
Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spam me. Oh, thank you. Mitchell.
I gotta stop with him if you even... We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
Kids, he would have stopped contacting Celeste, and Celeste potentially would have not died. So these people on his team, on his label, on his legal team need to be investigated and potentially put forward as co-conspirators, I think it is. They helped David. They literally helped him.
I just want to clear up the stuff from 2023 was not about the Celeste girl that was obviously recently in the news. It's nothing to do with her. I didn't know about her. I didn't know she was... I maybe heard her name once or twice. I had nothing to do with her. The stuff I have from 2023 was nothing to do with Celeste. These were other girls that had claimed David had messaged them or had, relationships with them. And I want people to know that in 2023, I did try and bring the situation to light. And a lot of people remember, I was having a lot of... It got so bad that David's legal team had got in contact with me to remove everything. I've attached an email here that I received from his team in 2023. And basically they removed my song with David from, streaming services because apparently I was spreading misinformation. The thing is, after that, I got in touch with David and I was like, yo, are the claims true and all of this? And he was like, he literally said, I've got it here. He said, no, it's just some people trying to get clout. There's no evidence and stuff. After that, everything was shut down. Everything, no one else came out after that.
I won't say they helped him groom kids, but they cleared his name so he can go on and pretend he's the pop star Epstein. I don't know, it just makes me angry because no one took this seriously, even though there was rumors of this. If my boy got rumors he was messaging kids, I'm asking him about it. I'm doing my own research, I'm asking people around him, And again, going back to Celeste lived with him in LA. She had nowhere to go apart from back home, but she was a runaway, she was missing. And now the thing is, David, his house is rented out by his manager. Now maybe the manager doesn't live with him, maybe the house is just rented by the manager, maybe David just lived there on his own. But the thing is, he's very popular, he's got a lot of friends, he's got other streamers I know, because I saw like Sakura and Jason DeWeen at his house, so he's clearly had a lot of people in and out of the house. So
crashing. Where'd it go wrong? Ghost? Where did you go? Afterlife?
So where was Celeste whilst all these people were in his house? Did they also know? Because we saw David's brother was taking Celeste backstage, so clearly David's family knew he had this little girl he was quote unquote dating. Again, it's not dating, it's grooming. So again, these people need to be held responsible for helping groom this child? Because if they knew, they're almost as bad as David. Now anyways, moving on from that stuff, because that actually made me really angry. It's crazy how many people knew and nothing was done. So this is a Reddit post. He texted multiple underage girls. So it's just messages this girl posted between her and David, but she captioned it saying, he followed me in 2023 when I was well under the age of 18, and these are our texts. I also remember one of his friends saying in a group chat I was in, saying all David follows is teen girls, somewhere along the lines of that. So there must be other victims. This guy in the comments said one of the old Discord screenshots were two guys chatting and they said that David wouldn't add them back, but he followed his underage girlfriends immediately. One of them made a teen catfish girl account and David immediately followed his catfish account back. And this guy said, I would not be shocked if we find worse evidence with devices taken from both him and his manager. Yes, everyone knew. His manager definitely knew, his family definitely knew, or at least his brother knew. It's just so weird how many people knew and nothing was done. Now again, my biggest issue with this is I just don't understand why he's doing this. So first of all, why is he texting little girls, and then secondly, why is he killing them and chopping them up and dumping them like they're trash? Now look, I've actually been doing a lot of research into this, or into David, because I've just been really interested. It's not even for the videos, because the videos I just yap about the current information. I've just been really interested because I just understand why he would do this. He's famous, rich, he's pretty decent looking. So why? Well, I watched this video. It was a Spotify mini documentary, and he said he was homeschooled, which leads to me thinking he may have struggled socially. He said, I think he was homeschooled for high school, because he said none of his friends from middle school messaged him, or like they didn't contact him. So I'm presuming when he went into high school, he was homeschooled. I'm not sure how the US school system works. I'm presuming he was homeschooled for high school. So that means he didn't have good social skills with people his age, and probably didn't get to talk to many girls or at all his age. I think he actually said his first bits of music weren't even about real experiences with girls or real relationships. It was completely made up. And that music was made in 2022. So he didn't really have any experiences with girls around 2022. So let's say 2022, he's making music and he said himself it's not about real experiences with real girls. Now that music starts blowing up 2022, and all these allegations, they're from 2023. So my guess is he's blown up in 2022, he's getting famous, whatever. Then with all this fame, he's got all these people, all these fans, and then now, I guess there could have been girls in 2022, or maybe he didn't get confident enough until 2023 to actually start reaching out to younger girls. Because the fact that he didn't have experience with girls his age, he may have gone for younger ones because he felt like they were easy targets, and as they were younger, they may have not had experience themselves.